Hey gang, it's JC, and this is the Daily Dose for Wednesday, January 11th, 2012, a combined venture with Mind Active in beautiful downtown Clayton. We have great television archives at the top of the page, just cool stuff. Punch around, have a great time on this website. We got some great television archives for you to inspect. Of course, we're on the air every day, me and Trish Gazelle on the Big 550, KTRS, that is from noon until 3. Eric Mink joins us every Tuesday. Wednesday, our legal eagle Scott Sherman. Thursday, professional comedian Joe Marlotti, who you've seen at the Funny Bone for years. And on Friday, Smash checks in with us, all that in the 1 o'clock hour. We call it the carousel of co-hosts. All right, let's get right to the results of yesterday's rock and roll poll. Were Christian voters in the Iowa caucuses who said they wouldn't vote for or support Mitt Romney because he's a Mormon, were they displaying bigotry? I'm very proud of you today. A whopping 81% of you said yes. And you know what? They were. Only 19% said no. But it looks like the Mittster's on his way. They're roughing him up. They're making him bloody by the time he actually gets to the convention, which I think is in Tampa. Is that right? I think it's in Tampa this year. I always get the Super Bowl and the convention locations mixed up. I should write this stuff down. Anyhow, by the time he gets there, he might be a little ragged looking, but it doesn't look like there's much stopping him. All right. The FCC and the Supreme Court doing a little soiree yesterday up in Washington. And they're considering the possibility of either relaxing some of the laws on obscenity or maybe making things a little more defined, because right now the lines are just like all over the place and they're constantly moving and nobody knows what's things you can do and what's things you can't do. And that's exactly the way they want it, I believe, because it's like anything else. If you don't know what the rules are, you don't know where the edge is, you won't get anywhere close to the edge. I believe this is exactly what the government wants. But that having been said, would it bother you if the FCC relaxed its restrictions and allowed occasional nudity and cursing on over-the-air TV? You know, the point was made yesterday at the Supreme Court that, you know, we're not living in the past. We're living in a situation where almost everybody has cable or satellite, and it's just another channel. People don't even make the distinction between what is an over-the-air station and what is a cable station. They just don't do it anymore, and particularly the under 30 crowd, I don't think it does it at all. So if that's the case, people don't even know what is over the air and what isn't over the air. So then why does it make sense for... Anyhow, would it bother you if the FCC relaxed those restrictions and allowed occasional nudity or cursing on over-the-air TV? Yes or no? Please answer. We'll have results for you tomorrow right here. How about the Twinkie company? Twinkie manufacturer Hostess is filing for bankruptcy. Oh, that sound you just heard was Jessica Simpson blowing her head off. Stephen Hawking says the toughest thing in the universe for him to figure out is women. Second toughest thing for him to figure out, stairs. 75% of people have already broken their New Year's resolution, unless, of course, your resolution was to cancel your gym membership, gain 15 pounds, and take up smoking. The national obesity rate has declined for the first time in years, at least according to research conducted nowhere near a Walmart. Remember John Parr, the movie St. Elmo's Fire? It had Rob Lowe and Demi Moore and Andrew McCarthy, you know the movie. And John Parr had that song called St. Elmo's Fire, Man in Motion. Gotta be a man in motion. All right, the words have been changed, and they've been changed by John Parr in a dedication to Tim Tebow. I told you, I told you. So now the lyrics go, gotta be a man in motion, all I need is my Broncos team. Take me where my future's lying, Tim Tebow's fire. We told you yesterday, of course, that Tebow threw for 316 yards, or as some people have sort of, connected some dots. John 316 yards, 316. Well, it turns out that his completion rate in the game last weekend was 31.6 yards per pass. 316. And the television rating at the moment that he threw the game-winning touchdown was 31.6. 316. I told you, here we go. If Tim Tebow somehow makes it to the Super Bowl, you'll have people they'll be dragging full-sized crucifixes down Highway 70 towards Indianapolis. Cue the next Parents Television Council freak out. We were just talking about it in our rock and roll poll. Next week on Modern Family, they're going to have the baby say the F word. Now, it's going to be censored, obviously, but then everybody's going to be all excited about it. I'm sure they'll complain anyhow. AMC is developing a new show based on Goodfellas, the movie, and The Bachelor hit a new ratings low. Monday's episode only attracted 7.2 million people. That is nothing in the primetime TV wars. We are so filthy. According to a new survey, 22% of men admit they don't change their underwear every day. I just had this conversation with somebody last weekend. Honest to God, we're talking about how the fact that sometimes you come home from work, and especially like on hot days or days where you just worked a lot or had a lot of physical activity or something, one of the best things you can do is put on a different pair of shoes, change your socks, and put a fresh pair of underwear on. It gives you almost like an emotional, never mind. Hey, Budweiser isn't one of the two most popular beers anymore. Bud Light, number one. Coors Light has surpassed Bud to be number 2. Bud now has slipped to number 3. Miller Lite is 4th. All right, you got a dog in your house, a little puppy dog. How's your little puppy dog? How's your little baby? Oh. The average dog causes almost 2,000 family fights in the course of its lifetime. Average dog lives to be about 12.8 years. That's 156 fights every year, an average of 1 fight every 2.3 days. Top 5 reasons people fight about their dog. Number 5, who should clean up the dog and the poop in the backyard. Number 4, whether the dog should be allowed upstairs. Number 3, whether the dog should be allowed on the bed. Number 2, who should walk the dog. And number 1, causes the most number of fights according to the survey, is what to do with the dog when you're going out. People's Choice Awards tonight on CBS, second most bogus award show ever. It used to be the Golden Globes, but now they got this thing called the Critics' Choice Awards, where all these people who get these free trips to Hollywood and become quote whores. The people who say every movie is 10 stars, the people who say it's the feel-good movie of the year, will take a terrible movie, something that should not even be released in theater, something that should be melted down to guitar picks, and you open up the paper and there it's like, oh my gosh, you'll love this movie, and these people just generate this crapola so they can get in good graces with the movie studios, continue to get expensive, exorbitant trips, merchandise, preferential treatment, access to stars, so they will say anything to promote a movie. And their award show is tomorrow night on the Reels channel, and I'm going to talk more about this in an upcoming segment. So on this day 39 years ago, the day that baseball was almost pronounced dead, somehow it has survived 39 years of the DH, the designated hitter. It was supposed to be a trial. The trial is still going on. Little note here about what we put up on the website. There have only, this website's been going now for, it'll be 2 years in March. 2 years in March. And whether it's on the air or on the website, I double check my stuff. Now, even when you double check or triple check, you're still capable of making an error. As far as I know, there has never been a person to walk the face of the earth, let alone a broadcaster, especially somebody like us talking off the top of our heads who don't occasionally make a mistake. What we do say to you is we try to limit the mistakes to the absolute minimum. We've always done that for the nearly 3 decades that I've been on the air here. And every once in a while, you step in some poop and you're like, oh man, I screwed that up. And that does happen. And every once in a while we get tricked or fooled or somebody gets away with something. But it doesn't happen that often. And on this website, for example, it's almost never happened. Which is why I take exception to Tony Hamilton. Tony, I'm sure you're a swell guy and everything, but I don't know why you chose to be such an accusatory prick when you decided to contact me. Now, the other day, and it's in the archives, it's right below what you're looking at right now, and you remember seeing this. It was a picture of Steven Tyler on the beach. And then we also put some other pictures. I think it was Arnold Schwarzenegger and Simon Cowell and somebody else, but the Steven Tyler one. And we put that up, and the man had just a serious case of moobs, man boobs. And we put the picture up, and Tony Hamilton not only says that it was Photoshopped, but then starts making all sorts of insults and everything, and he sends me this email. Well, a couple of things. First of all, I've seen other pictures of Steven Tyler on the beach from different angles and different stuff, and you can definitely see that he has this problem. It's too bad. I know it's very shocking to you, and you must love Aerosmith. This reminds me of back in the 80s when I was trying to tell people that Rob Halford, the lead singer of Judas Priest, was a gay man, and people were just fighting me tooth and nail because it insulted them because they were wearing leather and riding motorcycles and listening to Judas Priest, and he was their spiritual leader, and they didn't want to hear JC telling them something they didn't like. And then eventually people sort of acquiesce, but nobody ever comes back to you and says, oh, by the way, I fought you tooth and nail on that, but you know what, you were right. Nobody ever comes back and tells you, oh my gosh, you know, you were right. And so I'm sorry to tell you, the man is, I think he's 63 years old, and he's just got an odd case of man boobs. So to Tony Hamilton, just, you know, people accuse me of being rude, and I have never been as rude as the texts and the email and the Facebook postings and the other social media stuff and the tweets. Never been as rude as the people who are on there. So I'm very comfortable with myself, Tony Hamilton, and everybody else who can. All right, somebody took audio clips of the President of the United States giving speeches, and then he somehow pieced together the lyrics to Born This Way by Lady Gaga. So it looks like Obama is singing Born This Way. Sort of. It's sort of funny. Get a kick out of it. It's JC's eye candy. It's right below what you're looking at right now. All right, our rock and roll poll question again. Would it bother you if the FCC allowed an occasional curse word or a butt or a boob or something like that once in a while on over-the-air TV? Please answer in the corner. We'll have results for you tomorrow. In the meantime, that's it. JC's Daily Dose for Wednesday, January 11th, 2012, a combined venture with Mind Active in beautiful downtown Clayton. In the meantime, we've beaten this one to death. Have a good one. See you later. Bye.